Don't you have a word to show what may be
Hi all,
done?
just leaving Lancaster for the very last time. The Water Witch is behind. I'm not going very far, just enough to keep up with regs. But from this point on, we'll be heading south to go over the Ribble Link in May. I can hardly see a thing, I've got the sun right in my eyes. But we've brought the car up this time. We've hired one to bring back all our summer stuff, our compost loo buckets, our plants, our bikes. And because we've got the car for a day or two, we're going to take the opportunity to go out and about and just see a few more bits that we haven't had a chance to go and see yet. So maybe the other side of the Forest of Bowland. And tomorrow, our friend Les and Chris from Electra and hopefully Ian from Crackerjack will be joining us, and we're going to go to Scorton and take a walk up to Nicky Nook. Because the weather is going to be really nice. Oh, and it feels like spring is properly here, and it's Lancaster and it's not raining. You've got to celebrate that. The lambs are out, all very curious. Oops. Oh, and Henry's up there, up watching me steer into the bank. Water's high. Daffodils are out. Oh, it's so lovely. Henry knows everybody on this bit of canal. He talks to anybody. We've also brought back with us a brand new solar panel to add to our gear, which should give us about, what do we reckon, H? About 15% more power?
Yeah, something like that. It'll take us to just over a kilowatt anyway.
Excellent. It'll make all the difference on those grey days or at the beginning and end of the season.
Yeah.
And this is why at Old Cliff it's one of my favourite mooring spots. Today we're taking the opportunity while we've got the car to go and explore the far side of Bowland. So we have actually driven around last November, I think, October. We drove around the bottom part of Bowland over to Clitheroe, but we're going to make our way over now to Sladeburn and then onwards where there's an actual forest of Bowland. So go see what it's like over there. So come along with us. We're over here at the other side of Bowland now. So this is the east of Bowland, and all around there's a forest which seems mainly planted with pines, so not the nicest sort of forest. But here is Stock's Reservoir, and underneath there is the hamlet of Stock, which was flooded in about 1923, I think. And it's a working reservoir. The levels go up and down on a daily basis, and it seems to be a bird sanctuary now as well. So there's some hides around here and a nice walk, so we'll have a look. First primrose of the season. Well, the first one that I've seen. This is a really nice little picnic area. There's a wildlife hides down here, so we'll go and see if we can see any wildlife. although I'm not sure how wild it'll be out here. There's another sign of spring there. Little frog and his spawn, or hers. Very well camouflaged. Now, this is what we're looking for, a little forest path. The one ahead goes all around the reservoir, but I think inside the forest is more interesting. This is actually called, I don't know if it's a hard G or a soft G, but it's Gisburn or Gisburn Forest. There seem to be native trees around the edges of it, lots of birch, but inside there's mainly pine. That was slippery. Well, there's a whole lot of felling going on here. Hopefully to be replaced with more natural planting. That would be nice. It looks a bit devastated at the moment. Another little picnic area that looks quite new. Looks like a lot of work is going on around here. Now,
Looks like they're getting rid of all the pine trees here. We've seen it elsewhere as well though, where they're doing that. And what will most likely happen is they'll keep a line of pine trees there to act as a wind buffer, and then plant saplings, whips I guess, into the space behind. And then after a few years they'll probably take the rest of those pines down, and a jolly good job.
there's another big batch of spawn there. The tadpoles are as yet just wee dots, not moving, just basking in the sunshine. Back into the gloaming. Even though the microphone is probably picking up the odd bird from the reservoir, the forest itself is just a dead hush, which is a bit of a pine forest thing. All sound is deadened. This has a look of Spanish moss about it. Yeah, I love Spanish moss, but obviously it doesn't exist here in England. It's just moss, isn't it, rather than Spanish moss? It's
well, it's Lancashire moss.
Lancashire moss, yeah. Looks nice though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's late March now, and we've done 3 seasons here, which obviously never usually happens on a narrowboat. We arrived in early summer, And we've seen it all through summer, autumn, winter, and now into spring. By the time we leave, we'll have been here 11 months. It's been quite a treat to see it in all its different seasonal coats. And that's it, us at the end of our walk, with our lungs full of fresh air and the promise of summer on the way. We're going to try and find our way to settle from here and do a big loop, so we'll have been all around the Forest of Bowland then. It's lovely, really nice here. Definitely the poorer cousin of the Lake District, less well known, but it has its charm. We're just stopping on the way out at Dalehead Church, which is the last remaining building of Stocks Hamlet, because it's on higher ground, and it has a graveyard here with very few stones in it, so I want to go and see who's here. Oh, well, there's quite a range of dates in here. So these people actually lived in the hamlet, so they were buried before the reservoir was here. But over there beside the church, there's somebody who was buried here in 2021, so it must still be active, although there's nobody living around here to be buried here, so I suppose they're people who are associated with it in some way. This is interesting. Let's see what this one says. Oh, again, somebody from Grange Hall who died in 1920, so again before the reservoir was here, and someone else 1947. Can't read that one, it's a bit weathered. (2017) oh, and 2010. Yep, so well, there's plenty of space here if anybody needs a plot. Nice, peaceful place.
Yeah.
In the hills. Oh, this is interesting. This grave contains the remains of 30 unidentified persons formerly buried in Dalehead churchyard and reinterred. I'm going to have a quick peek inside the church if it's open. They actually still have services here, although apparently there's a vacancy for a vicar. Tiny.
Very nice little place.
Yeah. This explains it better. This church was actually built in 1936 because the old church was removed together with the grave. So that must have been the 30 unidentified people in the graveyard. But they used the stone, glass and timber from the original church. And we've just passed into North Yorkshire, which looks very much the same as Lancashire.
I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
No, that would cause a fight if you said that to the wrong person, though. Same dry stone walls, same downland. But that's us done this time. We're just getting ready to take the hire car back to Brighton and leaving all the boats behind, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. So we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.
Won't you come and say if you know the way to blue? Have you seen the land